We'll take 3.
You asked them both? And I suppose there's no sign of that. Could you possibly be more incompetent? Tell me how! What have you done?
It's not getting out a lot quicker than the drill.
What would you?
Let's Shall we kill everything? Shall we?
Alright, here we go. Patricia, and action.
Sorry? I think you should count. I feel like a 3-year-old.
Hey, how'd it go?
It was unbelievable.
Say it to the camera.
It was unbelievable.
Round it.
Yes!
Fumes are starting to get there.
It's right above this. It's up here. It's up here.
Party.
Thank you.
Oh, Mr.
Now it's that close. It is, yeah?
Right off. So it's like the highlight is the sure there is, and then after that it's like
So.
151 hotels. Eskimo just joined us.
Warning. If I discover you've been
And cut. That's great. Let's play back. It'd be okay to be on the other side, but I think that I'm too far over. The thing is just come over here. And action. And sit. Very nice. Let's cut. Yeah, that's okay.
Thank you.
Jimmy?
I'm Michael, sorry.
Can you two please take a step, all of you just take one step forward and closer to the wall. Turn your dad's arm. Slow. Turn around. And then wave bye to her and
Oh, the noise! What?
a little bit left.
Watch your fingers, Gil.
A little bit left. Good. Okay, it's gonna be nice. Action!
Careful! That's food you're destroying! Our food!
And cut.
No, listen, I want to check with Gil whether he wants it at all. Because he said something about, I'd forgotten we were going to do it, and I'll destroy it. And it looks okay, but he might not like it.
Action! Action!
Dude Harrow!
We swear
Eternal loyalty to our city and to the wisdom that created it. We declare our infinite gratitude to the builders who chose the site with the greatest care. Ours is the only light in the dark world.
and be seated. And cut. Very nice. Let me look at something and play back, and we'll
Warehouse clerk.
It's very good. A vital job. Pick, young lady. Out loud.
Pipe works.
Louder so we can all hear.
I'm a pipe works laborer.
You're a very fortunate girl. That is certainly an important job.
action.
What's inside the box, Lena? I imagine it's mayor-related business. Box. Give it to me. Give me the box!
Rumble.
Get it from her now!
Moving around. Try and fill up the open spaces. Try and fill up any spaces. Fill up the spaces. Moving. Moving around. Now look away at the messenger. Lena Mayfleet, where's she gone? Action!
And action. Mrs. Murdo, action. Okay, let's
Here it is again, our day of days. This magnificent achievement that is city of Ember. Magnificent achievement that is the city of Ember. Here it is again.
Action, Lizzie Looper.
Camera.
B camera marker.
I'll give a back direction first. Stand by and background action.
And action.
Lena,
Ew. Scream if you need me.
trade with me.
What?
Swap jobs, please. You have to.
You want to work in the pipeworks?
No, I want to be electrician's helper and work in the generator. But Joss won't swap. Please, I'd rather die than be a messenger. I don't want to waste my time
Yes.
while the whole city... What?
Yes.
Yes?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, June.
like ahead of where you would be crashing.
Yeah.
Because ahead of
Don't
you
want
would
to.
be shoot, yeah. And it should be more
When I first read the script, I thought to myself, oh, this sounds a nice little number. For a change, it's not full of fizzes and bangs, and it's nice quiet, and well, I think I might have been a little mistaken at first. There's a tremendous amount of what I call hidden mechanical gags on it. Basically, all the work we've done on this, in fact, are gadgets, mechanical props, and of course a lot of mechanical machinery. There's this breakfast machine in here.
He's taken an old sewing machine and turned it into a system for actually opening up the tin cans itself. The cans are then taken via these arms over to here, where the light bulbs actually heat the food up, and then from there over to this dispensing system, which then tips the food onto a plate. The plate then runs all the way across here, gets a bit of salt and pepper, and then is delivered to the table.
We have a couple of robots. They were created by a conceptual artist, which Gil signed off on, and then we built them to that. I mean, there's no CGI work involved in those. They are all radar-controlled robots. One works in this set, which is Doom's father's own personal little robot, and we have another chap called Tipsy, because he wobbles slightly, as though he's had a couple, and he works up and down the streets. I think throughout the picture, he will be sort of popping in from one side of the road to the other. He just appears every now and again.
Did you see what happened to the first one?
Get in!
We can't go yet. We have to tell everybody.
We don't have any time. We don't have any choice. Come on.
We've got a tremendous amount of green screen and work on engineering rigs in the generator room. The locker comes down onto the turntable, which on cue have to drop and let the lockers go into the water. The water, which of course at the moment is not there, goes into CGI water. We've got gimbal for that, and we're rigging the boat on top of that. And that has to do a lot of the movements. Majority of those movements will be done on CGI backgrounds, but we have to match the movements and the splashes when it drops and hits it, down, and up goes the spray, and constant spray and wind going on them. So that's quite a complicated little thing.
And action!
Run.
We brought the whole set alive. I mean, we've got 4 enormous steam boilers which are running the whole of the city of Ember with miles and miles of steam piping. It's a very intricate rig of steam pipes and water pipes and smoke pipes, and it is a big operation.
Tunnel!
We have a digging machine which digs its way out of the secret tunnel into the middle of a trash dump. It's quite a large piece of equipment, and all works on cables and winches and underground trolley wheels and things like that. Biggest jobs on this is in fact tying in with the CGI people for their interactive effects. I'm always pleased to try and do as much as I possibly can for my own sake, really, physically. But then there comes a time when sometimes it's cheaper to do it CGI, purely from the time factor. Everything now has been made easier, I think, from my side by CGI work, but on the other hand, it hasn't made it any less. We probably do more gags which are then incorporated by the CGI people into the work that we've been doing.
How do you know that's what you should do?
It's my job!
My name is Martin Lang. I'm the production designer of the City of Ember, and here we are in Belfast. During our early stages of production, we actually traveled the world. We went through Europe, went to Romania, Prague, Germany, and England. And it wasn't until the very end of our scout that we decided to come to Belfast to have a look at the paint hall, which is where we are today. Now, the one great thing about this facility is the height. It's absolutely huge. It's 90 foot tall, which is twice as tall as most of the sound stages within Europe. So this was it. This was the place where we had to make our movie.
So this is the largest set in the world now, officially. We came here because you could build this underground city on a set. It's got to have lots of height. It's got to have real scale, real size. And if you look at it, and those of you watching this on the DVD will now see cutaways of beautiful pieces of the set.
Martin's an artist, and that's important. He's not just a builder. He's a true artist.
When I arrived here, the set was exactly as I hoped it would look.
For me, I mean, that's incredible because it feels like you are in this city and in this place, and it is, you know, you've got lights above you, and that's what Ember is.
I'd bring friends on set and they just couldn't believe it. They were going around like, is this real? No, it's fake.
There's parts of the set that you don't even use, like there's a hairdresser's down the road that's got seats and a brush, and there's no scene in a hairdresser's, I don't think, and it's like, it makes it all so much more real and so much more fun to be there.
Yeah, it's amazing. I actually went over to the city to have a look, and it's unreal. We went into the yarn shop, which of course has got all this great yarn coming from the ceiling, and then Granny's flat, which is above it, and it gives you the sense that whatever happened up there happened, you know, late 70s, early 80s, because you've still got some of that nasty wallpaper and carpet left over.
And here we have Granny's yarn store and apartment. Now, if you look down to where the door is, you'll actually see that we've put some windows in there. And the roundness of the windows and the vertical nature of the door actually makes it look like a face. And as I said, the knitting that is inside that is all falling apart is a metaphor for her life, and how, coming to the end of her life, how things are beginning to sort of get all sort of fallen apart.
The rooms up in the first floor and the second floor, they're actually there. It's not an illusion. So they can have these big crane shots and look out of the window of a room and see the city. And yeah, it's incredible. It's all here.
One of the beauties of coming to Belfast and working in such a huge stage is that we're able to actually build very tall. And here is a situation where we ended up building the store downstairs and the apartment upstairs and linking the two together. Now here, there's a scene where Doon is trying to escape from the guards. The guards have come to get him.
Doon Harrow, is he here? He's charged with treason against the city. I can't hear. I have a weak ear.
So what he does is he leaves his apartment by going through the window, just over the kitchen counter, crawls along these pipes that are right above my head here, above a guard that doesn't know that he's there, climbs down the stonework on the side here and runs away. So by building the set downstairs and upstairs, plus the pipes, you can sort of contain yourself and shoot the whole thing in one go, which is great.
When you're reading a script, you visualize it one way, and what they've done is pretty amazing. I think the production designers are brilliant. They've created an entire world here.
In the book, at the start of the book, they have a map of Ember, and this is Ember.
I think there's a few incredible things about this job, and one's been working on the set, working on something so huge and so real around you.
Everything is the same. The streets are the same. We've got Harkin Square and Garn Square and the school, and everything is the same. So it really is a little mini city.
The whole world was completely unique. That that there was this city that had been built underground.
It's really kind of surreal, I suppose.
Yeah, it is. It has
Lots
been
of
an absolute
places to see.
amazing playground to be in. Like, yeah, couldn't
Yeah, it's
ask
like a
for more
playground.
incredible environments to work in and bits of stories to tell.
The generator, it's the heart of the city, and basically all of Ember's electricity comes from the generator. So as the electricity in the generator starts to run out, we have these things called blackouts.
Some people probably don't want to face up to what's going on, the fact that these blackouts are happening more and more.
The fear in Ember is that maybe one day the lights won't come back on, and that's what they're all worried about, and that's why they're kind of on edge all the time.
They would rather pretend, you know, and block it out like we all do. You know, it's the same with climate change. You know, there's a parallel with all of that. I think when I first read it, I think I was just very taken by Dune as a character, really. This is the Pipeworks entrance. So this is where Dune sorely wants to work. At the beginning of the story, he's got his heart set on working in the generator because that's the life source of Ember.
I just hope I don't get assigned some useless job.
He's so pure, really. He just wants to do good. He's in love with the city and in love with trying to make things better for people. And it's lovely to be inside someone who cares that much about it and is just completely focused, just completely determined on that one goal.
Dad, this place is falling apart. No, I will not just sit around while Ember collapses. I'm getting into that generator, whatever it takes.
Dune's an interesting character, you know. He's not outgoing and affable. He's got a lot on his mind. And it took a certain kind of genius to be able to imbue that with charisma.
Harry Treadaway, who plays Dune, is like the best guy I've ever met. He's so great to work with, and really, he's like my big brother, I suppose. He looks after me, and he makes me laugh too.
Saul, hello. Hi. Is there a key to the generator door?
Yes, well, I've had scenes with Harry, and I enjoy working with him. He's really on the ball, he's very professional, and he's talented. Outside of that, I have nothing good to say about him.
Lena is a very nice person and a really caring person, especially I think because she has to look after her grandmother and her younger sister Poppy. She's had to kind of grow up faster than other children her age, and I think that makes her more determined to reach her goal of achieving what this secret is that her and Dune have found, and that's why she's so determined to kind of come to the end and find the answer.
Come on, I'm gonna show you something. Saoirse's unbelievable, just completely brilliant. You know, should never ever change. She's got everything she needs as an actress.
Until I met Saoirse for the first time in London, I was convinced I hadn't met Alina.
Saoirse has these big blue eyes that are, they make you look at her to figure out what's going on in there.
There's a gravitational pull towards her eyes on the screen. And I think, you know, all screen legends share that quality.
She's got it. She's absolutely got it, and she's 13. And so that's kind of scary.
She's 13, but she's very mature for her age, and I'm 16, and I'm quite mature for my age, but when I'm around her, she brings out the 13-year-old in me, and we just play silly things and do like pat a cake and make up songs, and it's really fun, it's really nice. We've become really, really good friends.
She is the nicest girl, friendly, open, fun to be with, focused, kind to everybody. She's just extraordinary.
Now, you stay here and be a good girl. Okay? And look for me up there. Where's Lena? Oh, she's here somewhere.
And little poppies are just about the sweetest things that have ever existed in the world.
Catherine and Amy Quinn, the twin girls, sisters playing Poppy, are edible. Totally edible and adorable. They are lovely children and have an amazing ability to focus for their age, and really fun to be with.
I hope that kids will watch it and think that it's a good thing to ask questions and a good thing to look at the state of the environment that they're living in and to look at the things that are going wrong in it.
Drop! Hold on!
And to do something about it on an individual basis.
It sends out a very good message about Earth and how we're destroying Earth by the stupid things that we do. But it's also great fun and it's funny.
And also, you know, I think people of all ages can enjoy it because I think it's this mad, colourful, peculiar world with this incredibly exciting journey through it. It's a very exciting way of putting across quite a serious message, I think.
This scene really lights a fuse for the movie. When you talk about a 10-story generator, you're pushing the threshold of what you can actually build. You had to see it through Dune's eyes.
How are we going to accomplish this?
If the scene had not worked, it would have been catastrophic for the movie.
With a one-all sequence like this, you've got to just get it right.
The City of Ember is a very unique, and I think one-of-a-kind, family movie and an action movie at the same time.
We've got two kids who are concerned about the world they live in and want to try to find a way to either save it or get out of it and save everybody with them. The kids have grown up all their lives in an underground city. They don't know another world. It's a city that's run by a huge generator, and the generator is probably getting near its last few days.
City of Ember already boasts a very talented cast. Harry Treadway as Dune and Saoirse Ronan are literally the heroine and the hero that propel the entire story.
Dune's first discovery of the generator is certainly one of the most important scenes in the film because it sort of sends a lightning bolt straight down the center of Dune, and it's a kind of a clear signal that there is no fixing this place.
The generator is the heart of the city, and if you don't establish this, then you don't really have a movie. The scale of that is important. The urgency of that is important. The fact that it's breaking down to really show that is important.
That's the red flashing light saying warning, 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 because you have to actually show the threat. You have to show the desire to get out of the city.
The goal here was to show just how far this thing has gone into disrepair. Without this shot working, we would lose a pivotal, dramatic component in the plot of this film. Without nailing the sequence, we'd be left without that turning point.
It had to be right because it shows the scale of the generator. It shows the scale of the city. And if it was small, then it would have no impact.
This scene just had to work. If it didn't, we wouldn't have a second or third act.
And action.
At the end of the day, this is a scene about point of view, because really there's no dialogue in this scene. It's a purely visual sequence. And so the first challenge for me was how to get the audience into Dune's head. Traditionally, that's done with a sequence of cuts. We would show Dune coming in, cut to a reaction of him realizing that the door to the generator is open for once, then cover him walking in, and as he comes in, come in close to his eyes, and then cut away to his point of view. That shows the place. But I knew that this was an opportunity to create a visceral punch. I really wanted to be able to cross the threshold into this generator room and for the audience to believe that this is a grounded space. This is one of those moments where you really want the audience to be completely planted in our character's footsteps. And so I knew the only way I could really pull a sequence like this off was to try to play it all in one. And that means bringing Dune in, and then as he walks in, the camera glides in over his shoulder, and in essence, we become his eyes, we become his point of view. With a movie like Ember, where the image tells the story just as much as any word does, you had to see it through Dune's eyes.
The fact that it was one continuous take is an enormous challenge because, first of all, it's so long. It's a long scene, and it has many, many, many elements.
Everything had to line up just so. If you missed even 1 degree of camera bank, pan, or tilt, we just have to start all over again.
Since it is seamless, you have no outs. You have no way to cut from that scene to something else. So as you go into it, if you're halfway through and then something doesn't work or something just doesn't look right, then you have to start over again.
With a one-all sequence like this, you've got to just get it right. There's no cutting around a problem. To create this scene, we had to shoot it in 4 different stages. The first stage was Dune, our hero. We shot him on a set with the rest of the actors who play the pipe workers. That takes us to a green screen that Dune stands in front of as the camera pushes over him. One of the things that really saved me on this film was having a real ace camera crew. The hands of the camera operator moving us up and down this generator create a humanity. They help really sell the moment and ground it.
We use the Steadicam to go through the door. The door is a tiny little door at that point, so we need to fit through it. And we had a huge Steadicam operator, a Scottish man, big, tall, massive guy. So how is he gonna fit through the door? So that was part of the problem in the beginning, but it all worked out. It was a matter of rehearsing the scene several times until he knew how to accommodate his body to go through the tiny little door. The most difficult thing about the scene was the camera. The camera move was the most important because that's what gives you the whole one-take feel. It's really one of those scenes where you need to have everybody in sync and everybody has to know what they're doing.
This takes us to the second element in this scene, which was the bridge, the base of the generator, and the workers who were running around on this bridge. A scene like this is sort of clockwork. You've got to nail the timing. It was really critical that everyone was in sync, everyone was on their mark, that the cameras were firing on all cylinders. The 75 extras were where they needed to be.
The extras have to be perfectly choreographed so that they're not gonna block the piece that you're looking for exactly when that person crosses frame or something. There was always some problem. There was always somebody doing something that didn't have to do, so that became a bit of a problem.
We must have had at least 14 or 15 takes. We spent about 3/4 of a day on this thing, which might not sound like a lot, but when you've got this many people working on something, we can get a lot more done in that time than just one shot.
Camera.
The third element was the generator itself.
Now here, obviously, because of the constraints of the area that we were working in, we couldn't build the whole generator. The generator was very, very big and very huge, so we just built the specific pieces to work with.
That meant building a massive structure, really, that was on its own almost 3 stories tall there on the set. This is the base of the generator.
The upper part of the generator was created visually, so that didn't exist.
This thing was created completely in the computer and integrated into the first and second elements so that we've got a kind of seamless transition from one to the other. And then the fourth element placed on top were the workers on scaffolds who were actually affixed to the side of the generator.
So therefore, it means you have all of your extras standing on a platform 40 foot up in the air. We obviously had the generator going and water coming all over the place that could have ended up with someone falling. You have to explain, be very careful. It was a bit worrying that we were going to lose some, but we didn't, thankfully.
Stations, everybody!
From there, we go into the computer. We took live action elements. In this case, we had fire, we had water from the hoses, we had all the workers in the scaffolding, and actually projected them on planes. And then when you do that, the computer sort of takes over and locks everything in place, and that's what makes it look seamless.
One of the real problems with pure CG shots is that the camera generally has no gravity to it. There's no sense of an operator. And so it was really tricky and really important that the handoff from the live action play camera to the CG was done with a real effort to maintain the kind of humanity of the operation. A mechanical move, it's a black mark on a sequence like this. It spells death.
The beauty of digital effects is that you're creating and layering many, many elements. And it's the kind of thing that takes many, many hours, hundreds, thousands of hours to put together in layers and layers and layers.
Everyone believed in the shot, everyone knew it was important for the story, and when you watch the finished shot on screen, it's all worthwhile.
very pleased the way the scene came out. It's an awesome shot, and it's one that has a lot of emotional impact, and to me that's essential in a shot.
Yesterday watching it, I realized just how worth all this sweat was. We got the impact we were looking for. It's going to make a difference in this film.
It really feels like you are right there. It feels like it's one same space altogether, and it isn't. It's pretty amazing.
We set out to do something that shouldn't have worked, and at the end of the day, you know, we put it up on screen. I'm really proud of that.
I thought it was a great script. The screenwriter, Carolyn Thompson, is, I've had a crush on her for a long time as a writer and a person. I met her a long time ago, and I just think she's a spectacular person, and I always wanted to work in one of her films. And when I saw it was her name on it, I got very, like, you know, very excited. And the script is really, you know, effective, and you know, I didn't know what to expect because I hadn't read the book, and I thought this is a wonderful story, and I'd love to just be a part of this. This doesn't happen overnight. You know, you gotta devote yourself. You gotta really let yourself go. I try to just take in as, you know, I work with a professional chef. Try to take in as many calories as possible. And I have two chefs. I have a morning chef and an evening chef. And then I have a drip line of calories that I take in the night. I told my son I was going to be in the city of Ember. He said, "You're going to be in the city of Ember? Are you the mayor?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "The fat guy?" I said, "I don't." They said he doesn't have to be fat in the script. They said I didn't have to be fat. Well, it turns out it wasn't written fat, but I ended up getting fat. But I'm proud to be playing a notable fat guy in his life. I'm used to just walking in and doing it. I never really learn the lines, ever, you know, until the actual having to do it. And I keep forgetting, since I read the script a long time ago, I just said, "Oh yeah, I got that, no problem." I walk in, I've got these, you know, these political speeches to give, and I'm like, oh gosh, so many words. But, so I have to fumble through that, and it takes me a while, and you can sort of see the wheels spinning on my eyes as I try to remember all these things. It takes me so it's a lot more words than usual, and there's no one else to talk to. I guess I'm used to talking to people, you know, in movies. You're used to exchanging, you know, and you sort of get like little slalom poles from people. It's not so hard to learn lines when you're talking to someone, but when you have all the lines, you know, it's sort of, you know, all you can do is make a mistake. That's the way I feel. It's like, oh gosh. You know, and we've got this nightmarish Sue. She's the script supervisor who just lights up whenever I make like a one-word mistake. She just comes in like gloating and just elated. She can point out that she knows the lines. Of course, she's got the book in front of her, you know, it's not the big deal, but the city has problems in that the electricity is going out more and more. It's going out all the time in the middle of the day. It goes off for, you know, every night it goes off at a certain time. Once it goes off for the night, it's off till morning. There's no light in the night, none. And in the daytime, it comes on and with less intensity all the time. The bulbs, you'll see them are kind of like, ooh, sort of hanging in there. You wouldn't want to cut jewelry, you know. You might not want to, you know, you might not want, you'd have trouble reading a pill bottle by this light, but that's a big problem. Without light, light is, you know, we forget how important light is. Like if we turned off these lights, this would become radio, you know. So without light, we have real problems in Ember. Those who are younger have a little bit more idealism and see a different possibility and feel something. They connect to some sort of dream or wish that that there could be a better life. And what could that be? People that have lived longer have forgotten sometimes what their dreams were or how good it could be, and they've gotten in the habit of accepting things, accepting the way things are. You know, if you go through an airport and you see people standing in line, you know, you forget it didn't used to be such a struggle to go someplace, you know. If you go through Heathrow, you know, you see lines going every direction. You feel like you should get on one quickly, you know, quickly. It's like that feeling. I better get in line quickly or I'll never make my plane. You don't know what line you're in. But in this one, there's some young people in the movie that see or feel, sense that there's a way out of this. There's got to be a way out of this. And they're the ones we run with. That's who we're following in the movie. This young girl, Lena, the character's name is Lena Mayfleet, comes, and she's on to, you know, the mayor's, you know, hold on the city that's keeping things from flowing, as well as she is somehow connected to the original founding fathers. Her ancestor was one of the earlier mayors who was still aware of what the town was what was supposed to happen. And that's all been lost. The original information's been lost. And somehow she reconnects with it through her mother. And so she's the holder, the keeper of the secret, sort of. She's on to it, you know, she's aware of it. She knows it's there. And so she and her friend Dune try to figure it out. And this slob that I am, you know, tries to stand in the way of that. Doesn't want to rattle the cages, you know. Doesn't want to stir up the populace. Well, we're on what I'm told is the biggest set in the world. We're in Belfast, and this set used to be part of the shipyards here. They call this the paint hall, yes? And this is where the Titanic was built. That's how big it is. It's big. If you look at the ceilings, you see these massive crane kind of things that you had to lift up all these big, giant pieces of metal. It was built here. So this is the largest set in the world now, officially. We came here because you could build this underground city on a set. It's got to have lots of height. It's got to have real scale, real size. And if you look at it, and those of you watching this on the DVD will now see cutaways of beautiful pieces of the set. So, and it has a sort of a tired, you know, it's been around. It looks like it's been around a little bit too long and hasn't really been spruced up or cleaned. And but you see the original sort of feeling of it, the murals, you know, the sort of all for one kind of feeling, one for all, the kind of murals that exist in Rockefeller Center, and where, you know, it's just a nation striving, a people striving. And it's really a beautiful job. Well, he's smart. I know, because he says things that I know, but I'm just too thick to say, you know. I'm just too dull. You know, when he says things, I go, of course that's right. Of course you're right. I just, you know, I'm just too dull anymore. I don't have any wit left. There's almost nothing. I'm just a husk. But he's a very, you know, enthusiastic can be taken the wrong way, but he has a lot of enthusiasm and a lot of energy. It takes an enormous amount of energy to direct any film, even a terrible film. It takes a lot of energy to direct, either good or bad, and he has lots of energy, and he has great energy. He's very positive. As far as the costumes go, Ruth Myers is the costumer. I worked with her before. She's, I think she's really nailed this stuff. These are great costumes. I don't really, costumes, you know, so often costumes are recreations of ancient, you know, things that people pull out of books, you know, period pieces where these are all invented. These are very, very creative. This is a truly inventive costume department, and this is a notable achievement, what she's done. These clothes are really, really good. Really, really great. You know, you want people to know that there's a really great, there's a wonderful book which has been, you know, from that is one of the great screenwriters has written a screenplay that this young director with all this talent. Did you see Monster House? This guy did Monster House. This guy has got a lot of talent, and he's got some good actors in it. You know, this shouldn't be a tough one.
They sent me the script, and hadn't read the book, and it was just a lovely story, kind of a universal story about kids that dream of a future that their parents have given up on, and it's inspiring in that way. It was such an anomaly, but such a great story and such an inspiring story, and that's kind of what attracted me to this script, is that it's completely viewable to any age and also inspiring. It doesn't rely, like so many children's movies do, on violence for entertainment or explosions. It's a unique kind of weird world that I think children will really be drawn towards. I played Dune's father, Loris, who is a man who is a tinkerer, an inventor, and I think he kind of drives Dune crazy. Dune is asking questions. Dune is someone that wants to live in his imagination beyond the city of Ember, and dreams that there is a possible other world. My character's pretty much given up on that, as most people in Ember have. However, I have a secret, and it's part of what I think makes Dune who he is. When you are reared by someone that at one point in his life did have a passion for what lies beyond, I think you're able to, the parent is able to plant those seeds, and I think when the movie starts, those seeds have taken root and they're in Dune, and he's dreaming of a world beyond. Very talented, and he's, it's a mighty daunting challenge to control a production this large and to work in a foreign country and inspire a crew of people that have been in the business for a long, long time, longer than you've lived, longer than probably your father has lived. And there's crew members here that could be Gil's grandfather and grandmother, and he's up to it. I think he's doing a great job. I've enjoyed working with him.
When I started to read it, it kind of told you what the characters were all about, where Lena had come from, where Dune had come from, and near the end of the script, I wanted to read more and more and more and find out what happened. She's a very determined girl as well. Like, I think, if she finds something that she thinks is important, then she will go to the end to figure out what it is. And I do like that about her because, nothing will stop her. One day she finds a box in her apartment, and it contains, well, actually Poppy finds the box, and then she finds Poppy, who has the box. And there's like these weird pieces of paper inside the box. So her and her friend Dune kind of go on an adventure, I suppose, to try and figure out what these pieces of paper mean. And basically through the whole film, they're trying to figure out what they all mean and piece it together and kind of unlock the secret of the city. Bill Murray was unbelievable. I mean, he's just so funny. I keep saying this, I'm sorry, Bill, but we did this one scene and we did Bill's shots first, and then they turned around on me, and Bill decided that he'd make me laugh continuously the whole way through my shot. So I'm really grateful that he did that. It was like, he'd just make up lines and try and make me laugh. And he was so funny, and I think it's great having people like that on set. They've got streets and everything is kind of, in the book, at the start of the book, they have a map of Ember. And this is Ember, you know, everything is the same, the streets are the same. We've got Harkin Square and Garn Square and the school, and everything is the same. So it really is a little mini city. Gil Kennan, sorry, I call him Gil Kennan because I'm Irish. He is like the best director to work with. He's so much fun, and he's really great. He doesn't just he doesn't just look at things from a director's point of view. He looks at things from the actor's point of view and the character's point of view, and he's really understanding, and he'll listen to any suggestions that Harry and I might have, and he's very creative. I think that it sends out a really good message, but it's also great fun and it's funny, and then you've got a few emotional scenes thrown in as well. So I think that any family that would go and see this film would enjoy it, because I know that we've enjoyed making it.
I think when I first read it, I think I was just very taken by Dune as a character, really, and by this kind of absolute kind of determination, always to be asking questions, to always think that there's some way of helping the city, and there's some kind of there's something that he can do to help, basically. And what I loved was his sort of he wasn't going to let other people telling him that things couldn't be fixed stop him, basically, and he was always very determined. He just wants to do good. He's in love with the city and in love with trying to make things better for people, and it's lovely to be inside someone who cares that much about it and is just completely focused, just completely determined on that one goal. When I first came down for my audition, it was half constructed, and you could just see the scale of it and what was gonna, how big it was gonna be. And that was breathtaking, because I'd never seen anything like it. And then when I came back, it was sort of half built, and it was just incredible. I mean, you can't ask for, a more full kind of set. Really, I've never seen anything like it. It's the detail is incredible. Martin Lang, the guy that designed it, has just blown me away. Every setup you go to, every new scene, he is a real star in this whole thing, I think. I hope that kids will watch it and think that it's a good thing to ask questions, and a good thing not to just accept what they're told by the authorities, the mayor in Ember or the government in the world. To ask questions, to look at the state of the environment that they're living in, and to look at the things that are going wrong in it, and to do something about it on an individual basis, and believe that will change things, and it's a really positive message, I think, that it's sending out there. I think people of all ages can enjoy it, because I think it's this mad, colourful, peculiar world with this incredibly exciting journey through it, solving these clues to the eventual end.
It was an easy choice, it wasn't a choice. It was compulsive. I had no control over it once I read the novel. It's exactly the kind of world that I was hoping to be able to tell a story in. It spoke to me on every level of what I like to do as a filmmaker. It's a completely new world. It's visual. The characters are full of life, and the plot is filled with mystery, and to me it was like a checklist of all the things that interest me as a storyteller. it's a dream cast. I know that's bandied around a lot, but I'm still a little bit in shock that I was able to get the likes of Toby Jones and Mackenzie Crook and of course Bill Murray and Tim Robbins, Liz Smith, Mary Kay Place, Marianne Jean-Baptiste. It's like silly saying all these names out loud because they're the characters now. I can't separate the person from who they play in Ember. But yeah, it's been amazing, and a lot of those people, I thought I'd never get. The city of Ember is a place that was designed to keep humanity safe for a finite number of years. There were events taking place that a group of kind of a think tank deemed it necessary to find a way to keep people safe. They built a city completely technologically advanced, brilliant, reliant on self-sustaining energy, on a kind of joint community effort to keep the place functional. And this place worked brilliantly for 200 years, which was the time span that the place was supposed to exist. But somewhere along the line of lineage of mayors who hold the key to the exit from the city, a little kink in the system began to work itself, and the instructions for how to leave the city accidentally got stashed away in a closet somewhere. And years continued to pass, time went on, and the infrastructure, well beyond its expiration date, began to deteriorate. So that when we start our story at year 241, this place is falling apart. There's daily rumbles from the generator deep below the city. The failings of the generator manifest themselves in blackouts that happen intermittently and without any alarm. And the citizens now live in fear that the next blackout might be the last, and they might be plunged into an infinite darkness. I think the biggest challenge is just getting the thing off the ground. It's such a thing to wrap your head around. There's just so much that had to be created that a lot of my work at the beginning was creating enough visual material that could flesh out in images what is going to be done in this film, because we're not using anything in our world as a template. A lot of the objects, a lot of the materials, and pieces of the world are recognizable, but they're put together in something that's a completely separate world. And I think that was the biggest challenge, just getting everyone on the same page. But in terms of executing it, I feel like this is the once I've entered into a journey of telling a story, the scale becomes sort of irrelevant. I feel like, I knew this had to be a huge world. I knew this had to be a city and not a town or a village. It's gotta feel like this place was designed for thousands of people to live. And so that's been part of the message from the beginning. And coming from a background of animation and having a basic working understanding of visual effects, I feel like that stuff is just, it's just like other things we do to tell a story. I feel like what I want is when the audience leaves the theater, for them to kind of step out into the parking lot and look down at their feet and wonder what's below. Honestly, that connection to the ground below you, to the world around you, and to what we have to lose and gain is right at the center of what the audience should get from this. Obviously, wrapped up in an entertaining package with characters that they're gonna love and relate to. But really, it's about who we are on this planet. How we spend our time here, and our relationship to where we live.
It's a surprisingly emotional story. It seems on the surface like a sort of sweet little mystery, but what it really is underneath is these kids are taking responsibility for their lives for the first time. And so you get to, by dint of this wonderful story, watch Lena grow up, watch Dune grow up, watch them find themselves while they're finding a way to save their city. Over time, as the script grows, you have to let it be its own thing. You can't keep, clinging to the book because the book is a completely different experience. And so I just let the story tell itself to me and help it evolve as best I can. Basically, I try to stay out of its way and just pay attention to where it wants to go and go there with it. It's a city where the populace has been given all the food and water and all the supplies that theoretically they will need, yet they're now finding themselves running out of things. So they're running out of canned peas, they're running out of tinned tomatoes, they're running out of all foodstuffs. There's a potato blight. There is not enough pipe to repair their pipe works. They're having to improvise and make their lives up and scramble, and they end up dressing in rags and using, this is like the ultimate recycled city. They use every bit of everything that they can find and stitch themselves back together again. And they're finding themselves sort of near the end of time. He is so detail-oriented and has so been clear about every single thing that he wants, and he knows what he wants, and he is just, I admire him enormously. It's funny, it's sad, it's silly, but it's fundamentally, it's a very emotional, very moving story about these kids who, in the process of finding themselves, find out how to save their city.
Very excited by it, actually. I mean, one of the amazing things about working in the film industry is that every project is different. Working on Titanic from 1912 to Pearl Harbor in the 40s and 50s, to come into an underground city built in the 70s, 240 years later, is a dream. It's something really exciting to sort of get your teeth into. Gil has been a wonderful person to work with because he is so creative. He does have so many wonderful ideas of how things are supposed to look and the look and feel of the movie. So we had a great kick-off meeting at the very beginning where we were able to throw ideas backwards and forwards of how this place should be. Should there be vegetation? Should there not be vegetation? Should there be mold and mushrooms growing everywhere because we're in a cave underground? And we just sort of honed in on the style of just a very rigid, straight-line modernist architecture which we have here today. What actually happened was, after our initial design concept discussions, we hopped on a plane and travelled Europe. We went to Romania and Prague and Germany and England, and trying to find a place that was very big, very large, where we could feasibly build a whole city. That brought us to Belfast. Belfast has an amazing building, which we're in today, where Harland and Wolff, the company that actually built Titanic, were based. Titanic was built just 100 yards up the road, and they used this building for painting sections of ship later on in their life. But anyway, so we came to this building, saw this facility. It was absolutely amazing because it did allow us to build the city as we wanted to. It made us have the idea of building long streets and avenues and a big Harkin Square at the end where the mayor actually lives in the gathering hall. We were able to do that in this huge facility. So it actually makes it easier to shoot because you can run Lena from her house in Granny's into the square and down to the school as a practical set rather than having to shoot it on separate days and move from one stage to the next. Here we have the luxury of being able to build the whole thing. Well, the city is actually based on a series of concentric circles, almost like the spoke of a bicycle. You have in the center, you have the hub, which is Harkin Square with Gathering Hall. And then from there, we have 8 radiating lines which take you to different areas. We have a hospital, we have a school, we have a greenhouse area. But everything is built very, very small, and obviously going with the idea that we're in a cave underground, there's not a luxury of space. So everything is crammed together into this small hole. And that's what we're doing on this stage. We're cramming as much as we can into an area sort of built a quarter the size of the city to allow us to run people through, put extras in there, and it actually looks quite jolly. It comes to life. One of the great things about working with Gil is that his ability to draw is fantastic. So many times it's very difficult to get your point across if you're unable to draw it of exactly what you want. But with Gil, he's able to come in and say, no, this is what I'd like. And he sits down with a little sketch and says, this is what I'd like. And based on that, it's fantastic. It's a really, really good way of working because you can both just sit in a room together with pencils and paper and just scribble away and come up with a design that works really well. So working with someone that can draw like that and with an amazing, amazing visual mind is really, really good fun. In the same way that Monster House was a living house that lived and breathed, we've tried to bring some of that to this city as well. The city is very multi-layered. You have the buildings that we're looking at right now. Underneath you have a whole series of pipeworks which are almost like the veins of someone's body. And underneath that we have this pumping generator, which is the metaphor for the heart of a living person. So we've tried to take the heart that is pumping, bring the cables and the wires, the veins as it were, or the nerves of the body, and bring those into the building. So you'll see that most of the buildings have got a whole series of exterior cables that are feeding them.
The city of Ember is a very unique, and I think one-of-a-kind action movie. It's like a family movie and an action movie at the same time. That is not merely a fantasy film, it's a fantasy film inside this kind of atmosphere that we can recognize. Underground city, already a secret. Why does this underground city exist? Why does it look the way it does? Why is it so threadbare? Why is there such a feeling of mock happiness at the same time there's this undercurrent of, well, of kind of danger, of mystery? Well, when you have a city like that, when you have a story like that, that means it's full of secrets, and you need somebody to discover what those secrets are. And lo and behold, if it isn't, the young people of the city of Ember, the young people who are always yearning for something better, are always asking, why are things the way they are, and isn't there something better out there for us as we get older? These young people are the ones who discover the secrets. They go off, and not only do they make their lives better, but they save the entire city. They break, it's almost as though they break the secret code of not only this box, but and the instructions that are inside it, but also they break the code of why they are where they are. It's a big, massive puzzle that starts with a hint, that leads to a clue, that leads to a trail, that leads to a secret, that leads to a passageway, that leads to a tunnel, that leads to an adventure that gets them out into the bright daylight of the sun and saves the day. City of Ember already boasts a very talented cast. Harry Treadway as Dune and Saoirse Ronan are literally the heroine and the hero that save the day, that propel the entire story, and it's they who we follow throughout. We have Bill Murray, Tim Robbins. Look, I'd pay to see both of those guys walk across the street, and it's delighting to have them in the film as well. The screenwriter, Caroline Thompson, has already done some of the most impressive fantasy-type films she has a whole history with Tim Burton. The city of Ember is a one-of-a-kind, unique singularity. It has a logic to it that comes out in every pipe, every wire, every frame, every faded sign, and every chipped piece of paint or every crumbling wall.